Hey Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign, this is Mina, and this is your December 2020 horoscope prediction video. For those of us in the US, the holidays are fast approaching. For that reason, I just wanted to provide some information about family and friends this month, sort of like I did last month in November. Each of these horoscope videos will be broken into 3 sections: relationships, self, and the material. In the relationships section, we're going to discuss your friends, family, and romance. I also want to pull some cards to help you express your gratitude or help guide you to some unique gifts that you can use to provide to those around you. I also want to look at ways that you can set boundaries with your family in order to make you feel a little bit more comfortable within your family unit. In the self section, we'll discuss the lessons you're learning this month, how you should engage in self-care, your spirituality, strengths, and mental health. Lastly, in the material section, we're going to discuss your work and finances. Use the timestamps in the description box to skip to any section you are most interested in, or just use it as a way to refer back to it throughout the month of December. At the very end of the reading, we'll roll the astro dice over here to get a better sense of the reading, or a lot of times I find it pinpoints the most important section of the reading you should start your month out focusing on. If you're watching for someone you love, there's also going to be a specific timestamp to the romance or family section, so you can use that to skip there now. For those of you who are watching your sun sign video, please be sure to check out your moon and your rising sign video, or some people call it Ascendant. This is going to give you the most personalized reading that you can get in this generalized reading setting. If you want a personalized reading, I do offer them, so send me an email to minanixtarot@gmail.com. If you don't know your sun, moon, or rising sign, I put a link to a natal chart creator, so that way you can go ahead and figure those things out for yourself. I usually shuffle on camera during my horoscope videos, but because we're going to have larger stacks to get through this month, I'm going to go ahead just like I did in November and just start us right off in the self section. So let's begin. Let's get started with your self section. The theme of your month, the King of Cups. Spiritually, you're in the vibe of the 6 of Swords. And then Spirit has picked this card for you. As far as self-care goes, the Queen of Pentacles and reach your goals. For mental health, Jocelyn, she who persists, perspective, defiant, persistent. The theme of your month, Taurus, is all about balancing the heart and the mind, controlling your emotions, and finding the wisdom to accept things that you're not able to change. There's a huge amount of emotional maturity that's occurring at this time. So you're becoming more calm, more sympathetic, and more tolerant of other people. It's a really great card moving into a time where we might be just with people more often in more traditional settings. So that's a great thing. Spiritually speaking, the 6 of Swords. You are surrounded by your spirit guides at this time, they want you to know. It's also telling us that you're going to have a stronger intuition, visions, and dreams are going to be telling you something very important. Spirits picked for you this quote: "The key to prayer is to forget what I think I need." Prayer may not mean God or Jesus or the people in which Christianity basically implies, or it could mean that for you. Take this based off of your spirituality. For me, prayer and meditation pretty much go hand in hand. Meditation is listening to spirit and prayer is talking to spirit for me. So it says the key to prayer is to forget what I think I need. So allowing spirit to tell you the things that you need to move best forward on your path. For self-care, the Queen of Pentacles and reach your goals. It's important for you to take time to celebrate how many goals you have accomplished lately. The Queen of Pentacles is all about luxury, success, and financial independence, approaching issues in a more sensible, practical, no-nonsense type of way, and then working steadily towards them. This is a very mature vibe as well. You've got a lot of maturity and a lot of things that you've learned recently, and it's allowing you to really take this time to celebrate. Reach your goals. You want to break up any goals you have remaining into small subsects so that you can work on them in smaller sections instead of being drowned out by how much left you have to go. I feel like there's going to be a moment where you're like, yes, I've accomplished so much, and then you go, ooh, but I have like 12 other things that I need to do as well. Try not to get caught up in that mindset. Take the time to celebrate your victories and then to break up those larger goals into smaller steps so you can have a lot more celebrating along the way. The Queen of Pentacles represents that Virgo type of energy, so that day-to-day, daily grind of getting things done. So allow yourself to really enjoy the routine that you have set aside, and that's going to be something that provides you with the self-care that you need. For your mental health, Jocelyn, your values, your personal values are being challenged. So make sure you're taking stock in your personal values and trying to figure out what you're going to do to be willing to defend them. Nothing comes easily, so things will be challenged for you, and you need to take some time to figure out what you do believe in. Owning your own power can be frightening. When you own your own power, you have to admit that a lot of things that are happening in your life are your responsibility, which is very scary. And it's much easier to just think of your life as out of your control and to be in that mindset, but that's not what's happening for you mentally. You're really able to stand beside yourself, and if other people are not willing to stand beside you, then you're okay to move on independently without them. You're really in a place of mental strength right now, and you're willing to stand up for what you believe in and stay stubborn on the things that you need to stay stubborn on. So that is great. You're in the correct mindset that way. Let's move into your relationships. Okay, Taurus, for your relationships, your family is coming in the energy of the 3 of Cups. To put up boundaries, you need the 2 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, and Maya reversed. Your friends are in the energy of the World reversed, and the 8 of Cups. The gift you're going to give to this world this month, the Firefly. For my single Tauruses, Taurians, the Tower card reversed, and for my Taurus in a relationship, the Hanged Man upright. All right, so your family this month is really enjoying the parties and festivities that are going on. There's a sense of camaraderie. There's a sense of looking forward to happiness and in general having a bit of hope. So you're going to see some celebrations and some happy times going on. This could be saying that a family member who hasn't come to events or hasn't been a part of the family for a long time may be coming back to the family, and everyone's really, really excited to see them. Ways for you to maintain your independence in the family as all these families are going up, or to just allow yourself to put up your personal boundaries so you can continue working on your own self. The 2 of Wands, the 5 of Swords, and Maya reversed. Okay, so because you're coming in with a place of maturity and your family's coming in with happiness, you may be viewing the upcoming holiday events as something that's going to go quite smoothly and everyone's going to get along and all of that. You need to look realistically about the differences in your family. I'm getting the sense that someone is going to say something that is a little bit, it triggers something inside of you, and you want to immediately stand up and fight back and lay into them and explain to them why they're wrong or what's happening here. It's important for you, though, with the 2 of Wands, you have this, it's a way of spirit saying you have 2 choices here. So the first choice is that you can completely decide to leave the situation and walk away, just be completely detached when that happens. The second thing that you could do in order to handle it is to be realistic with the level of communication that can occur between you and this other party, and decide if it's even worth your time to really stand up and have this conversation with them, or if it's important to just keep silent and to let it go at this time. Summon up your courage and be willing to see things as they really are, and be honest with yourself is what Maya asks you to do. It's understandable that you want to make this person see your side of things, and that you really hope that they can understand your side of the things and how reality is going, but the truth might be, for them, they are holding on so tightly to their beliefs that they are unable at this time to look at what you're seeing. And the reason is because if we have a core belief that's been defining a lot of our choices and behaviors, and then someone tells us it's completely the opposite, or we're starting to learn that it's completely the opposite, what happens to people is they usually hold on to their beliefs even tighter. So when things are challenged, they tend to tighten up on their beliefs, and they stand up for them, and they fight even harder for what they believe, instead of taking in the new information that they've learned and assimilating it into the rest of their thoughts. For you, you need to make that decision. Are you going to just completely walk away from them and be like, you know what, I wash my hands of you right now? Or are you going to sit silently, let them speak their piece, and then try to let it wash over you and move away? That doesn't mean you falter on your belief system. You still stand up strong for what you believe in. Remember that mental health card, Jocelyn. You're still going to stand up for what you're believing in and not let it change you. And if they try to bulldog you or force you into admitting you agree with them, I would say that's the moment in which you sort of say, this is not going to lead to a productive conversation. I'm going to walk away. So just expect an encounter like that to happen at some point with someone in December, Taurus. Your friends are coming in with the World reversed and the Eight of Cups. There is a particular friend I'm being told about who things are just not working out very well for them. They feel stalled in their life, and it's starting to turn them into like the person who kind of blames everybody else for what's going on. They start to just obsess over the thing that's bothering them. That's all they can ever talk about. It's like they're beating a dead horse, essentially. I hate that phrase, but that's what's happening. They keep bringing it up over and over and over again. You are being asked to leave this person be, to walk away from this bad situation, to have the courage and strength to let that person know that that's not something you're going to discuss again, because basically they're putting so much of their energy into failure that they're unable to see the opportunities that exist around them. They're so wrapped up in their disappointments that they can't cut their losses and move on to the next thing. And so it's time for some tough love with those people, and to say to them, like, I'm sorry, I'm no longer going to have a conversation about, for example, let's say their boyfriend broke up with them. That's maybe a little harsh, and they've been talking to you about this breakup forever and ever and ever, and you're going to say, hey, I'm no longer going to talk about how you failed to make the relationship work. I understand if you need to vent to me, but I'm no longer going to engage in your self-defeatist attitude about the situation. It's definitely a fine line to walk there, and you're kind of bringing in your breaking of illusion. You're helping them get out of this delusional space and understand that, yes, this one thing failed, but there's actually a lot of work that they can do to achieve their dreams if they would just take different opportunities. It's almost like they tried to take a shortcut and it fell out from underneath of them, and now you're letting them know, like, yeah, it takes a lot of hard work to get what you want. Let's be realistic about how much work it's going to take you to get there and what to do. I'm vibing that this is more of a passions project thing and less of a relationship situation, like they were passed up for a promotion or they're trying to get a business started and it's not going anywhere, and you're going to be the voice that's like, yep, it's really hard and you have to spend some time and you have to put the dedication in and really be high up on your morals and stick to it in order to see any progress. So you're walking away from that behavior. It doesn't necessarily mean you're walking away for them, but for some people, they're in such a toxic low place that you are going to be forced to walk away from them, because for them in their path, they need everything to kind of be taken out from underneath them so they can rebuild on stronger foundations. Hopefully that makes some sense. But what can you do to provide the people in your life with strength that you can actually affect change in? The Firefly card. You're actually going to have this ability as people are talking to you to pick up on little things that they're not noticing that can provide them with the next stage in the phase of their life. For example, you're talking to someone and they're explaining something that's going on in your life, and then all of a sudden it hits you like, oh, hey, why didn't you do this? Or why didn't you say this? Or why didn't you go here? Or what if you went there? You're like this little spark of inspiration that's happening for all the people around you. And you're going to be able to see things that others can't at this time. You're sort of like illuminating the inspiration that they're unable to see. You have the ability to harness the creative spirit at this time and to be able to give that creative spirit over to other people just through discussing with them, brainstorming and problem solving with them. You're going to be a very good solutions focused type of person this month, and I'm really excited to see all the good that you're getting ready to do for us in December, Taurus. Let's move into love. Again, for my single Taurians, we've got the Tower card reversed. For some of you, this could be saying that you were kind of dating someone for a while and it's just come apparent to you that this is not the person that you want to be with, and you're going to be forced to walk away. You could realize that the relationship is over and you're just not wanting to be single and take that on, so you're refusing to initiate the breaking up process and move on in your love life, and that's completely understandable. But it's time for you to stop and face whatever you're running from and learn that you gained a lot of information from that experience, even if it was negative, and use it in order to move on and leave it where it belongs in the past, and then move forward. Now that is so much easier said than done, right, Taurus? If we could all just wake up and put our past behind us and keep moving forward, that would be super great. But that's unfortunately not the way the heart works, right? So if you are avoiding a painful breakup, this is telling me that the breakup is going to come no matter what in some form or another, and you will be moving on. Now, like I said, this is for my single Taurians, so they may not be in a committed relationship, but this is like someone you're casually seeing, dating, talking to, someone you were initially at the beginning of the month really excited about starting a relationship with. You kind of quickly realize like, ooh, this is not for me. It may be hard for you to leave them because you may not have any other prospects or things going, or just remembering that initial excitement keeps you attached for a little longer than you should be. And this is saying like, yeah, it's right to move on. Your instinct is correct there. It's also discussing, if you're like completely single and you're not talking to anyone, this is also discussing letting go of your past baggage. This is a month that's forcing you to release that past baggage in your heart, in your love life, and see the world of love and romance under a new lens. So it's very positive in that way. If you're completely single, you're not talking to anyone, you're not on any dating websites, that's what I'm seeing for you. You're leaving your baggage behind and you're moving forward with a new outlook on it. Not forgetting the lessons that you had learned in the past, but allowing them to be assimilated within your new level of hope and inspiration for the future. For my Taurians in a relationship, the Hanged Man, you're just unhappy or stagnant in the relationship, and both you and your partner feel the need to take a step back for the time being. That doesn't necessarily mean break up. It just means you're taking a step back to assess the relationship and figuring out what options you have. It may be something as small as once you take a step back from the situation and you see it from the grander perspective, you understand that this is some past baggage that you're bringing into the situation, and you realize that it's you bringing that baggage in, and you're able to deal with that and move forward in the relationship just fine. It could be something as simple as that, but it's important to focus on your perception and positive aspects of the relationship. Instead of worrying about what you hope it to be like, realize that you need to be happy with how it is now. Again, breaking that delusion. We're not living in the what could it be right now. We're looking at what it currently is and seeing what our options are now. Very, very practical approach to life in general, Taurus. So you're living the very earthy vibes in December. Moving into the material. For work, the Two of Swords. And for money, the Justice card reversed. The Two of Swords is telling me that at work you're going to be caught in the middle of a situation. It's almost like maybe the owner of where you work or the founder of where you work and your immediate boss have very different opinions about how to move forward, and you're caught in between them. You need to decide whether you're going to... Both sides are giving good information, and you really can't risk making either of them upset. So you're caught in this very uncomfortable situation. Be aware that you may not have all of the facts to move forward, and take some time to really get educated on the issue before you choose a side or before you decide exactly what to do. Weigh up the pros and cons of each option if you're struggling to figure out your next move, and then make a choice after that. It's unfortunate that they've put you in this situation, but it's not uncommon, right? Especially in a place where there's a large hierarchy of people. Tends to get into a situation where two people who are your boss tell you different things. This could also be two people who are in charge of you, giving you way too much on your plate, and you trying to figure out how to balance both of these people. It's important for you to sit down and break it down and figure out what are the most important things. Like, I always think of it as like, what thing do I have to get done now or else everything is going to collapse, and do those things first and then worry about the secondary things later. And if they say anything to you, you may just have to stand up for yourself and have the confidence to say, I'm sorry, I can't take on all of this right now. Sometimes I find it helpful that if you explain to them what else is on your plate, like if you say, okay, so what I'm hearing you say is you want me to make 10 cold calls today. I'm also today doing blah, 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 and then list all the things out you're doing, and they may be like, oh, don't worry about getting the cold calls done today, do them tomorrow. Or they may say, I don't really care about that, do this. So for both of your bosses, give them a list of things that they've given you so they understand that it's an unreasonable list. For your finances, your money over here, the Justice card reversed, showing you that you need to balance your books and make sure that you are definitely checking in with your finances. Not a good month to spend recklessly. In fact, hopefully you've got some savings going forward if you do have a big holiday this month, so that you can buy the appropriate amount of presents, or I don't know, however people measure that. I'm not a big presents person, so that's difficult for me. But yeah, so basically keeping integrity and keeping things balanced is going to allow you to get rewarded, and making sure that you have a positive outlook on money could bring more money into you. Starting finances over again. Avoid anything risky. Be very cautious with people in financial dealings, and make sure that they are trustworthy. For a lot of us during holiday times, we tend to spend a little bit more as we're buying presents or we're traveling. And so it's important for you to not gamble with your money and not overspend. Make sure that you have a budget and a plan moving into December, and that you stick to that, because that's what's going to allow you to survive throughout the month healthily. All right, let's roll the Astro Dice lastly here to get some additional information into the reading. The 10th house represented by Capricorn. This is the Pisces symbol. And Mars represented by Aries. This could be saying that you have Aries, Pisces, or Capricorn somewhere else in your sun, moon, or rising sign. This is confirmation that this reading is for you. When I see the 10th house specifically, this to me is career, long-term goals, reputation. I think we're talking about your work again. And the way that Pisces is very dreamy and imaginative and connected to the intuition, those sorts of things. So it's combining your passion and your intuition to figure out the best way for you to move forward in your career. Looking at how passion and dreams can work within long-term planning and setting aside some time for that. A lot of messages for people over the past 3 months have been about long-term planning. And I think it's because we're going into a new era. And so as we move into this new era, new possibilities and new desires and wants are popping up for people. And it's time for them to relook at if their long-term plans are still matching up with what they want, or if they need to shift that focus and make it more aligned with their current passions. Hopefully that helps you, Taurus. These are all the messages I'm getting for you, Taurus. If this video resonates with you, go ahead and give it a like. Comment down below on which sections you feel should be a regular addition to the monthly horoscope readings. I'm always willing to try or to change things up so that you feel like you have the exact information that you want. Subscribe to my channel for pick a card videos as well as more monthly horoscope readings, and I will see you next time. Bye, Taurus.